Megan, but I believe that you have that for us.
I do. A Texas judge was this week disciplined after claiming that God told him a defendant was innocent.
Wow, this makes me feel uncomfortable in my home state.
Oh, but wait, there's more.
Oh, of course.
I'm sorry, God told him that someone was innocent?
Yes.
Oh,
so
great.
A Comal County District Court judge, we're not that far away from us.
Yeah, we're also not that far from Wilco, or Williamson County.
I live in Williamson County. Don't knock that shit.
Yeah. What? Okay, sorry. We'll talk about Williamson County
We will,
off the
air.
and how it's terrible.
A Comal County District Court judge received a public warning after he told the jury to keep deliberating over a defendant they had convicted because God told him she was innocent.
Wait.
Oh, hello, spectral evidence. That's awesome.
That's not even spectral evidence.
No.
He's just saying I heard a voice in his... Sorry. His repercussions
His spectral
were...
eyewitness.
A warning?
Oh, no, it gets better. So Robinson presided, this is the judge, Jack Robinson, presided over the trial of Gloria Romero Perez, who was charged with continuous sex trafficking and the sale and purchase of a child. When Robinson was informed the jury reached a guilty verdict, he told them her conviction would be a miscarriage of justice and asked them to keep deliberating.
You know, I'm not a legal expert.
Jeez.
I'm an amateur, enthusiast without not a member of the bar, but I'm pretty fucking sure that's not how that works.
Yeah.
So
Did you
we've
pick
got
this story
No.
deliberately because you wanted to see my
something-
blood just boil
Just
over?
boil. Oh, no, it's boiling now because there's more.
We've got another
God.
story about judges, and this kind of.
Well, one of them, yeah.
We might get to it. We may not, but I'm willing to bet that this was an elected judge, and not a merit-based appointed judge.
Actually, I would take your guess on that, even though I don't necessarily see where, in my story particularly, whether he was elected or not.
I have some issues with
But I will
locally
say
elected
that,
judges.
quote, this is from officials wrote in a report, quote, the judge later apologized to the jury and said something to the effect of, again, quote, when God tells me I gotta do something, I gotta do it, end quote, officials wrote in a report.
Wait,
Right.
so did God change his mind?
He did, apparently, but...
Did God change his mind, or was God wrong, or was he wrong about how he interpreted God's message? Did he go into detail about how he got God's message?
I would trade...
What a dick.
No, at least not in this report. However, Robinson provided letters from two medical professionals that Robinson's outburst was caused by a quote, temporary episodic medical condition referred to as delirium.
Is that clinical? Is that a clinical term?
The professionals said that this issue appears to be resolved and that Robinson is not currently experiencing the same impairment.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, he experienced it twice here, once on the bench and once issuing the
In his
apology.
report.
Yeah.
Delirium. Is that kind of like how women used to be diagnosed with hysteria?
Yeah. More
Wow.
like hysteria because it's explicitly sexist. So actually, I feel like the part where he was off the bench where he was like, yeah, sorry, I love God so much. I feel like that's less delirium. But
And more ideology.
And somehow this action falls short of suspension.
Yeah, what the hell?
I think he
Contravening the law, and you're just going, oh, well, let's give him a little warning.
He's screwed up, and he's using God as an excuse.
It was deliberate.
well, he's the only one to ever do that.
And
so-
lastly, I just have to say this last part. Robinson denied he ever exhibited prejudice, but he did recognize that his involvement with the jury was grounds for misconduct.
Well, at least he's acknowledging
What
it.
a faux pas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel shitty because I was so unrestrained and passionate talking about calendars, and now I'm fucking speechless about
Judges.
the law, which is a real passion.
Maybe you should just voluntarily keep your delirious ass off the bench.
Yeah, I was going to say, you could go and get another job
Yeah.
doing something else. I was
Talk
trying to
about
think
the
of...
Gregorian calendar.
I feel
no,
like
no.
he needs to find another profession.
Yeah.
One that does not involve the law, because obviously he cannot keep his personal opinions to himself.
Yeah, I don't.
Right.
I think he has an issue with objectivity, clearly, and he has an issue with, holding himself accountable for his screw ups. He
Yep.
can't cop to his own.
Yeah, well, he's passing responsibility off onto God. Yeah.
So I think I can
you're supposed to.
strongly disagree with the point you've taken. And I also feel like we need like a boom graphic whenever we actually fundamentally disagree, because it doesn't happen that often.
All right, bring it.
So while I have the same sort of reaction of like, if this can happen, stop. Stop being a judge. But if it really is a sufficiently understood mental health issue and it's successfully treated, I mean, I would reconsider if he's a competent
Sure.
judge.
I mean, sure, but I don't know if delirium is necessarily
I would like to see a history
an actual diagnosis
to be able to tell.
Well, so here, let me hit you with a hypothetical, because we don't know
Okay.
all the facts. But if
This
the
is
facts are such that this is the only time he's been delirious and therefore been Jesus-y, I mean, like, Jesus is the judge of everything, which is a phrase I've heard, which, oh, God, I'm changing my mind right now. If it's the only time he's been delirious and he is getting treatment from a licensed non-Jesus therapist, it's okay for therapists to be Christian. I just mean one that's providing like clinical things as opposed to go pray on it.
Disagree. Continue.
It's just,
another point of disagreement.
do you think any Christian would agree that his outburst was delirium? I don't think so.
If it was the only outburst,
No, I think it's a total cop out, and I would say if he was like had low blood sugar, and that can actually
happens.
can actually cause that can cause delirium or delirious behavior, such that it is indistinguishable from being severely drunk.
this is true.
In this case, it's
I
indistinguishable
have a
from
diabetic
being
sibling, yeah.
extremely religious.
Well, so what I will
I mean, this is tantamount to calling religion delirium. Personally, I agree with that, but I don't think anybody else in the world does.
Hashtag not all religion, hashtag not all Christians. Sort of
Hashtag not all atheists. Anyway.
Yeah. So what I will say is that the judicial system is affected by humans are basically monkeys with a better brain.
Oh, yeah.
And so there have been, with a better brain, with a more complicated, we have much more sophisticated
complicated brain,
language.
sure,
We can understand syntax.
That's
Some of
vocal
us
cords.
can understand syntax. No, it's a brain. Because even when they do everything you say is wrong and I'm right. So what I will say is there were studies of how harsh judges are in terms of applying sentences to crimes. And basically, if they get the case first thing in the morning, there's sort of an average. And then when it starts to approach lunchtime, on average, the sentences they dish out are harsher. And then immediately after lunch, they sort of go down. And then towards the end of the day, they sort of rise again.
So really, there needs to be a consistent buffet available to the judge.
Well, I
Actually,
mean, now I'm going to law school. If I can just munch on the job.
If I can segue
Sustained.
actually over to my previous point about elected judges as opposed to like merit-based appointed judges, is you can actually see that same kind of that same thing when you graph it. Judges are significantly more harsh when it comes closer to election time.
Yeah.
As opposed to when they just got elected. So they gotta appear like they're being tough on crime, so they dole out sentences that are oftentimes
harsher.
Unjustly harsh.
Yeah.
Just because they're trying to look tough so they can get reelected.
Right.
What's a little bit effed, but will persuade exactly 0 Americans, is that we are one of 2 countries that elects judges at this scale. So there's some in some countries, but electing as judges to the degree that we do is the United States and Bolivia, and that's it. And I can say I haven't actually studied the judicial system of Bolivia, and I'm not fluent in Spanish.
And we're going to keep that for later.
And we're going to, I was getting to that. I'm not always talking about things, though, mostly, so justified, your response. It's real fucked up. But I don't think that's going to get us to fix the system in the same way that we're not going to switch to the metric system, just because we...
Darn it, we need to be ruled by incorruptible AI.
Well, no.
I think my point is...
I feel like I'm reading Leviathan again.
When you have merit-based judges that actually, are for the most part as nonpartisan as they can be, you're gonna get shit like this a lot less.
Yeah,
I would